Today we have a killer matchup even noted Monday hater Garfield would love. Hello everyone and welcome to VCT Americas, coming to you live from the Riot Games Arena in Los Angeles, California. Of course, I am Golden Boy here, closing out week 6 with Mimi as well as V1's Mel on the desk, and I'm so glad that we managed to fit an awesome boomer reference at the beginning of the show, Mimi.
Is Garfield
and I know you can relate
reference?
to that. I mean, do you know what Garfield is?
Of course I know what Garfield is.
Guys, the world truly is healing. Okay, well, let's go.
How could I not know what Garfield is?
Mimi, you've surprised me many times in the past, okay? Like, I think I said Stone Cold Steve Austin one time you were lost. See?
Well, that's I don't watch
Mel,
wrestling.
I expect that from you.
Everyone read Garfield as a kid.
Let's talk about what happened yesterday. Focus up, Mimi. All right, because we had Loud versus 100 Thieves, and then it was Leviathan going up against Crew. And Mimi, this, I think overall, it's just nice to see how Loud have really just put the pedal to the metal at the end of this split.
We came into this thinking that, 100 Thieves has been looking solid. They've had a couple good games that have shown like their true potential. And Loud has been losing the first map to absolutely everyone, but this game definitely usurped that expectation because Loud came in and they absolutely looked like the best team in the league. They were dominating. Aspas did not have a slow round throughout the entire map, it would seem. And for 100 Thieves, well, the game plans were sound. It was just, again, the little mistakes, the errors in execution that led that one to slip away from them. And for Loud, not only are they top in the standings, but they're also looking now very probable to be a top 2 team, to just be a match away from the playoffs. And the second match also was surprisingly brief, Mel.
Yeah, we were planning it to be a really close affair. We've seen these two go head-to-head before. There's like a grudge match. There's former teammates on both teams. They might know things that we don't know, but ultimately, Leviathan just comes out with a 2-0, and it was swift, and I think that was the fastest game in all of America.
Probably.
It was.
Yeah.
Also VCT.
I tell you what, though, my Uber ride home definitely thanked the traffic because I was able to beat it due to how fast that game was. Felt like Leviathan just wanted to get business done, and they did so in such a way that really, I don't think leaves it does leave some questions, but I think a lot of people can leave that game feeling at the very least confident for Leviathan at the end of this split.
Yeah, it was kind of a doubter going into this game because Crew has looked like a squad that, well, they haven't gotten a win yet. They've been really close to upsetting a lot of teams.
Sure.
And I thought they would
Almost
be similar
Loud
against Leviathan. Yeah, absolutely. But very similar to the first match yesterday with Loud. It was two teams that were proving why they have had such high expectations, why they are sitting towards the top of the standings.
It really has been incredible to watch these teams week in and week out. But here are the standings as they are right now. So as we noted yesterday, Loud and Cloud9, they're sitting at the top. They're sitting nice and pretty. But you can see Furia. You can also see NRG. Those are going to be the two teams that we're looking out for here today. And as far as movement goes with the bracket, I think that win for Leviathan, Mel, not secures them, but at the very least gives them a little bit more breathing room to work around for the rest of these weeks.
They needed that win, especially versus their, as well, like a LATAM team. So that's going to put them higher up in the standings, give them a bit more breathing room, a bit more comfort for the next games going forward.
They share that fourth place with a few other squads, but they do have that win over NRG, which is going to be big for tiebreakers, putting them in that 4th spot right now. But for Furia, they're the team I'm watching today, because if they beat NRG, they're qualified. They will be our 3rd team into the playoffs.
Yeah, which is absolutely nuts. And that makes this game so much more important because we're wrapping up this week with a banger. It's NRG versus Furia. And of course, both of these matches, this match is going to be crucial for both teams. But here at VCT Americas, we don't shy away from the hard-hitting questions for our players. We never do. I would say we're very astute Valorant journalists, okay? So we put them under the microscope in this installment of Profiles.
Favorite skin line, it has to be the Oni, probably. Or Zed.
La Frenzy, la Glitch Pop.
It's a hard question. Estoy entre Protocolo y Prime. Esos dos son las mejores skins porque yo por lo menos no me aburro nunca de esa skin.
Cats. I have a cat. His name is Simba because, like, obviously, like, from the movie, he looks just like him.
Cachorro. Gato odeia as pessoas e cachorro é muito carinhoso.
Gato.
Sempre fui de ter gato desde a infância. Na minha casa a gente teve uma época que a gente teve 15 gatos, pra você ter ideia. Eu não era nascido, infelizmente, queria ter pego essa época, mas gato.
Honestly, I think the person who's been yelling the most out of all of us is Jakey. So, Big Bean, that's my boy.
Crashies, so I've seen him like twice already clutch up and just stand there, and I was like, yeah, I would do the same.
Boosty, 100%.
Reina, because you just run around and do whatever you want.
Killjoy. Porque yo antes era centinela y ahora soy iniciador, pero siempre me gusta jugar los centinelas.
Race or Sova or Jet. Who puts on one sock and then one shoe? I put on both socks and then both shoes. I feel like if you put on one sock, one shoe, you're doing something shady. There's something going on there.
Los dos calcetines y después los dos zapatos como una persona normal.
Who does one sock for? You do both socks and then both shoes.
Both socks and put my shoes on.
Meia sapato, um de cada vez. Porque, tipo assim, na teoria, é porque também vai de pessoa. Eu acredito que eu sou um cara, eu sou muito calmo, então, tipo, eu não tenho pressa pra fazer as paradas. Eu boto a meia, pego o sapato, coloco. Pego a meia, coloco, sapato, finalizei, entendeu?
That's like illegal, I feel like.
So today we learned that Digizin is a monster.
Yeah,
but
that's
also, you know, really we're missing the actual technique, guys. It's obviously it's shoes first, socks second.
What?
It makes sense, trust me. All right, guys, throughout VCT Americas, we've had so many incredible moments, and we've been joined by some excellent co-streamers every step of the way. So why don't we get a little meta here and watch the people who watch us?
I think they watch the players, not you, GB.
Well, I would like to think in a world that they watch me. First, let's check in on everyone's favorite little bro. It's Tarek. Look at him. He's hanging out. He
looks very focused.
He's on his phone. Is he?
Maybe there's a bug on the ground.
Could be.
Did someone just die in the pre-round?
It didn't happen.
Wait, where?
Wait, Tig is dead. How is Tig dead in the pre-round?
What, did I miss something? Why are you guys talking to me right now?
I think he did miss something.
Yeah, what happened? We actually will telestrate Tarek on stream right now.
Yeah.
What did we miss?
I mean, first of all, you can see this guy's clearly,
he's not
clearly
focused.
not paying attention. You look at the eyes, both of these very clearly pointing downwards, not outwards as you'd expect at the gameplay. That's really what you want to see. But I'm just really interested to see how Tig dies. Let's watch the minimap because he's the fade player in this one.
Okay.
And this guy just like disappears at one point. He's going on the rope.
Yeah.
Everyone's thinking, oh, he got pushed out.
He got pushed out.
I did not. Have you ever seen that before, Mel?
That has to be a new bug. I've never seen that.
I love that it just comes out and it's just
Great.
instant tech pause, and he's about to be just shocked.
In his defense,
Shock face.
It's a pre-round. Who expects someone to not harness onto the rope properly?
I'm right there with you. That threw me off completely.
This is why 2-point safety is so important. You got to tie yourself off, kids.
You really do. All right, guys, you know what? Tarek wasn't looking, but it's okay. Let's give him another chance here. We got this second clip. Of course, we all know this one. It's the legendary bang clip as he just makes a play of the split right here. Unreal scenes, and you can definitely see the excitement.
No.
Oh, he's getting into it. And he doesn't even know the best part yet.
Yeah, the best is yet to come.
There's no way. There's no way that guy just ran in like that. He actually knew how important it was, dude. Wait.
You hear the weight. You can see it. You can see it in the vision.
Oh.
They were taking single fights. It makes sense.
This is insane.
You can see just his mouth slowly opening, just an extra degree every second that passes.
Yeah. Okay, so why don't we break down what happened here, Mel? Tarek obviously gave us a lot to work with.
He did.
It's VOD review, but not the game.
No, not the game.
not
We
the
don't.
game.
Let's
the game.
focus on.
We've already talked about that
Let's really
clip.
focus up here on the reactions. Just purely seeing how he ramps up. There's a little mini pog there.
That's a mini pog.
A little
yes.
mini pog here.
Of course.
Oh,
of course.
right here.
Big
Pretty
pog.
big. That's probably one of the biggest.
I mean,
in
that's
this
like
moment.
a but he still has range, right? He's not maxing out too early.
Yeah, that would say that was like a good ramp up pog, right?
Yeah.
And then we're getting
So
higher
it's like
up.
a roller coaster. You have to
it's
like
supposed to be a
you have
hockey
to earn
stick.
that peak.
Exactly. And let's continue here.
And that wasn't even like the best part of the round. We're
No, it
still
wasn't.
not even at the Bane clutch yet, so he's freaking out.
Yeah.
Looking at the chat, good chat interactions.
Yeah,
seeing what
Obviously,
people are
great
saying.
streamer, top tier streamer. Wouldn't expect anything less from you, buddy.
Also, I want to know here, his posture leaned in. What we didn't see in that last round.
Yes.
He was kind of straight, looking down,
This
but we're
is true.
seeing a good
true.
I mean, look at that
good
eye line.
mobility.
It's straight across the game.
He's focused. I am a little bit worried about his back. If I'm being completely honest with you, as a man who's definitely feeling it in his 30s, I think he's going to feel it pretty soon as well. But yeah, I mean, overall, and do we have a big puck? Look at that puck.
It only
That's the
gets
big
bigger.
puck.
It gets crazier.
The scream. It's not even a
scream
puck at that point.
That's
So
so
good.
impressive.
So good. All
I
right,
mean,
well,
kids, this is where you learn reactions from.
that's it. You want to be a top streamer, guys? Tune in to VCT Americas. We'll teach you how.
You have to
All right, and we'll illustrate you. All right, let's check in on crew Sergio Aguero, who asked Dryad to do some play-by-play in English. It's always nice to have your own personal commentator.
Yeah. I don't know how well Sergio knows Valorant is a thing. Like, he owns a Valorant team, but he's more of a footballer.
It's true, but you know what? It's fine. It's Sergio freaking Aguero, so I think we could give homie a pass on that one.
Side, but not to get the first
Okay.
kill. Artist
He's got
goes
Dan
down.
breaking it all down for him.
Obviously.
He looks like he's really listening intently. You can see with his eyes.
Yeah.
They're glazed over. He's dialed in now.
Some people listen with their ears, but Sergio Aguero, he listens with his eyes.
Yeah, let's
for sure.
let's take a look back at that
really
one. I
get
mean,
in
it's
there.
just like the facial expressions that you can learn from. You can see the slow expansion of the eyes throughout this
Whoa.
one. Watch him go, watch him go, watch him go.
Whoa.
We're about to hit.
Whoa.
We're about to hit the biggest moment.
Right?
Here it comes. Right there.
Right there.
Right there.
That's it.
Look how dilated is that. Like, I bet this guy goes to the eye doctor. He doesn't even need the drops.
Doesn't need him.
They just play him around.
They just bring him in there. They play a round of Valorant in front of him, and then that's when they do the eye exam.
He's just ready.
Well, you know what? That's a pretty good one, but we have one more. Let's go ahead and check in on a real high-end clip. This is a highlight from the EMEA region. Here, we see a grown man mauled in real time. Oh, this guy?
Wait, I think I know this guy.
I think he looks familiar.
Oh no, Yampy got 2. Oh no.
I mean, surely Kevin Core doesn't lose this round, right?
I mean, little bro planted, so that's basically it. It's a wrap at that
It was
point.
a
We all know
3v5
that.
post-fight. They should be fine.
Yeah, they should be fine.
Looking good so far.
Good positioning. Obviously, we have to blur the chat because Sideshow's chat is all heathens. Makes sense.
That is true.
They took that personally.
Yes. It's perfect. Oh my.
Yampy just kills everyone.
With an ace
Oh.
from Yampy. Another 3v5 ace from Yampy.
So I really want to break this down here, guys, because I've known Sideshow for a very long time. He canceled the podcast we had together. He's obviously doesn't care about me. So I'm going to go after him. Here you can see in real time a man mauling. Okay. Now notice that his hairline, right, quite receding. Okay. So this is obviously going to be a problem that he has already identified, as have I. Now, as we continue on, though, with the clip, right, and you can see as it gets a little bit more intense, you can see his eyes, right? Look at his eyes starting to really pulsate and get, oh, right there, he gets a little wild-eyed again. And then as we go further back, we'll just zoom in because really the real meat and potatoes of this is right here. This right here. Look at his eyes. You can see he's squinting. He's like, I can't believe it. I'm doing this thing. That's Sideshow. That's Sideshow right there. Look at this. And now I just feel like I'm attacking the guy. And then again, the hair, the molding. Guys, I mean, it goes without saying, don't be bald.
I don't know if I learned about like how to
That's from a
co-stream
bald
better.
guy.
I feel like you just have a vendetta against Josh.
No, but he canceled the forehead, so I'll never forgive him for that.
That's so sad. I'm so sorry for you.
Tell us who your favorite co-streamer is. Why is it Mimi? Why is it Mel? Let us know using the hashtags VCT Americas and VCT. That way we can feature your tweets on today's broadcast. Surely that will go perfectly fine, right, Mimi?
Yeah, no one's ever tweeted anything weird. As we saw from Josh's chat, everyone is like, this
very normal.
doesn't have to happen to any of
There
our
it is.
viewers.
Yeah,
on the
it
main
really,
stream.
really I'm just messing everything up right now because this is why they don't put me on the prompter. Anyway, guys, we're going to take a quick pause for the cause, and then when we're going to come back and break everything down for the final match of the week. It's going to be NRG facing off against Furia. We'll see you guys, as always, on the other side.
I feel like I learned a lot, really.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Got to be taking his face clean though, and it doesn't look just that likely. The frenzy's in the face. That's going to drop to 1 health.
Por isso, leva o seu primeiro ali, vai buscar mais DG, e agora sim, saiu da jaula o monstro, levantou.
Welcome back, everyone, to VCT Americas. Today's match features two teams that are number 2 in their regions, and they both need a win here today. It's NRG versus Furia. And first, let's talk about NRG, because this team is starting to really find themselves here. Mel, the beginning of the split, a little rough for the boys. They were finding their footing, right? Trying new things out. But now you could really see that this team has started to really find themselves in the split.
I think this is where NRG thrives the most, actually. We've seen it year after year, this core with Optic, right? When their back is against the wall and they actually need to make something happen, they're not playing around anymore. This is a moment, this is the state of mind that they enjoy being in.
Yeah.
They're not not used to this feeling. They've done it at internationals plenty of times. We've seen it in the group stages. They'll go 0-2, or it's not 0-2. They'll lose the group stage match and then go on to dominate the tournament. So expect big things from NRG.
This is a team that takes a while to warm up, and I think the most concrete way we've seen that improvement has been in them really fixing their roles. For a while, they were trying to jump around. Everyone's playing Killjoy. It was really weird. They were trying to find a new style when they didn't necessarily need to. But in the last 2 weeks, they've gone back to what has worked for them for a very long time, which is the roles that everyone has played. It's Artis on Duelist, it's Crashes on Initiator, it's Finesse sometimes flexing around, but mostly playing that kind of Flash Initiator role, and it's worked so much better for them. Both of their last 2 matches have been resounding, just clean 2-0 wins over both Crew and 100 Thieves. And now they're still in a position that, despite the improvements, they're in a bit of trouble because they're 3-3 right now, and the last few games they have here could be difficult. They have Furia straight into Loud.
Yeah, this is going to be quite challenging. You look at this and you see, Loud are mortal. We have kind of come to that conclusion here, especially after their game against Crew. That being said, though, for NRG, where do you see, I guess, the win condition for them in your professional experience? How do you see NRG really trying to overcome these challenges as they get ready for these next 3 weeks?
To me, a week or 2 prior, I would have told you just go back to your old roles, which is what they have done. And since doing so, they have looked phenomenal, back to what we're used to expecting out of NRG. You're seeing insane calling coming out of FNS. That was consistent throughout the whole time, but it's a lot easier when people are in the right spots on their roles. They know where to go, they know what util to use, and they know how to execute the game plans that FNS wants to put into place.
Also, since the changes to the map pool, getting Bind back has seemed fantastic for them. They're the only team thus far in Americas who we've actually seen pick into this map last week, and I loved their answer to it. Instead of going back to the more traditional compositions like you saw in this game from 100 Thieves, they innovated a little bit, kept that kind of core of Sky, Raze, and Sage that you've come to expect on this map, but added in this Harbor Viper double controller that has become so meta right now. Their retakes were fantastic with it. On the attacking side, having those Harbor walls that slow people from flooding in on the retake is excellent, and they just played it so well.
And it's honestly awesome to see a team where they have had some struggle throughout the split, right? We're no strangers to that. And when you're in that position, you feel like multiple of your maps are what you need to work on. But the fact that they're able to bring in a new map while struggling a bit in the split and knowing other teams might target their own weaker maps is honestly, it's a feat. It's a lot easier said than done, especially as an IGL when you're looking at map pool.
And, incorporating, new agents that weren't even released when Bind was a thing, and then, it comes back, and now you have the opportunity to really mess around and do some unique things. And I think that's part of the reason why, it's a well-known fact. That's the reason why NRG is where they are right now, is the innovation. It's what's driven them to this point. But, of course, for more on NRG's win and the impact of Finesse's calls, here's what Crashies had to say in a Verizon post-match interview. Let's check it out.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting a stomp that bad. Once we won a few of the clutch rounds, it definitely felt like we were in the flow state, and FNS was just calling amazing at that point, so it's super easy to get kills and, run circles around them. And yeah, props to FNS because he was calling amazing.
Yeah, and, as an IGL as well, Mel, right? That has to feel great when your teammates are praising you, praising your calls, knowing that your voice has had a direct impact on the success of the game.
It always feels great because I feel like the IGLing, I think we can all agree, is a role that's kind of overlooked. You're looking for the flashy plays, the jet players especially. They're playing a completely different game than the rest of us, let's be real. But the IGLing is something that just happens kind of behind the scenes. It's like a lead up to the action as a viewer. But in game, it's like the IGL is the one talking mostly the entire round on defense and attack. So when your own teammates can be like, yo, recognize them, please. Then it always feels good.
Yeah, it's a wonderful feeling because you have to think, right? Like, yeah, you get the, you know, clutch a 2K, right? Get yourself a clutch in the round, keep yourself still in this matchup. But there's nothing quite like being able to make those calls happen, being able to execute on those plays. And Mimi, I know that there were some plays that you had wanted to talk about because it's very evident in the way that Finesse plays and how he takes advantage of the tools available to him. He could do no wrong.
I think one of the best examples of Finesse's calling is how they work the fakes so often when they're playing. And this is an example from their game versus 100 Thieves, where you see early on they're sending this volley of util with both of their initiators and the Jet into A. They fake that pressure into Sands and then also continue that through with an aftershock and a dog into the A site. 100 Thieves kept to this 4-1 setup and was fully stacked towards A, so they end up having to play retake as they totally bite on this fake that NRG executes towards the site. And if you look at their utility, right now they have nothing left besides that alarm bot that Victor just dropped on down. But because of the way the timing worked out on this one, they're going to recover their signature abilities in time to stop this retake from 100 Thieves. You see the stun there from Finesse. You'll see Crashies use his bird in a moment to support in this one. And because of the fake, they also have such a great post-pump position. They start aggressive, fighting for the players to flood out the smokes, and then fall all the way back to have this long angle once the smoker of their opponent is dead. But the thing is, with that exact same util combination, they also have rounds where they can just go for this A hit. You'll see it's the same stuff. Stun into Sands, flash through, dog deep. It's a 4-1. This time the Killjoy's north side instead of B, but it's the exact same idea. And 100 Thieves was hesitant for a moment. Eventually they'll start to rotate on over, but now they're going to be investing ultimates. And well, it doesn't go exactly how NRG wanted. They're not going to get a free sight. They do bait out a big ultimate there and just hold up, wait a second, and react to push on in, which gives them an advantageous position in this post punt with still good control towards Sands, with the players in main being able to set up a bit of a crossfire between the Jet and a breach here. And for 100 Thieves, having to use those ultimates to shut down that initial execute means they have nothing left to make this retake happen and are going to be forced to just save. With NRG, they're so good at early conditioning their opponents to be wary of these flanks, to always question their rotations when they're playing on the defensive side, and there's always a follow-up later in the half to punish.
Yeah, when you're playing against an IGL, the caliber of FNS, when you're playing against them as an IGL as well, like a caller, it's really hard to know what's real and what's not. You need to key into the smallest details to know what's a fake because of, one, how much util they use, how much util they use in the conditioning before the fake even happens. And knowing FNS, he could call a double fake off that. He could literally call the fake of the fake and then walk back B, show the smokes, then walk contact back in. Like, you never know what to expect when someone like FNS is on the other team.
Yeah, no, he truly is, you know, one of the, like, you know, him, like Boaster, like Stacks, like some of the most brilliant, Sadak, can't forget about Sadak, like some of the most brilliant minds, you know, in the game right now, and you're seeing it, you know, the proof is definitely in the pudding there. But, you know, what also helps out too is when you have players that are able to do the things you need them to do, like Victor, for example, because this guy is bringing a very awesome flexibility to this NRG team, Mel, that has provided them with a lot of tools to succeed.
We talk about NRG swapping roles throughout the split, and this entire time, no matter what role he actually was on, he was a rock for them. Obviously, it wasn't like a perfect win con. We saw them losing matches early, but him as a player individually was performing beyond expectation on roles like Jet, which we've seen him play before, like last year when they pulled it out on Breeze versus Loud. But here, it's something completely different. We're talking several maps, and that stuff is really difficult as a player to go from Sentinel to Jet to Initiator.
And we've talked about how we want to see more of NRG going back to the roles that have worked for them in the past. The thing is, you always do have to have someone who's flexible in the meta right now. And for this team, it has always been Victor. You can see the quote here from their coach, Chet, where he says, shout out to Victor, definitely the best flex player that a coach could ask for. He has done this so consistently for NRG and Optic before and Envy before that across so many different metas and so many different agents. This guy is able to provide some of the most consistent value to his team, which has allowed everyone else to play on those comfort roles.
Yeah, it is so refreshing to see these players not put themselves in a box and then try to just like expand what they can do. And you know, the proof is in what Victor has been able to achieve so far, alongside with the rest of his squad, not only in the split but also in his career as well. But earlier in the week, actually, we ended up speaking with Digizin. You remember him? He's a monster who puts his socks on first and then his sneakers on after that. Who does that? Of course, though, we got his take on NRG's ups and downs this stage. So let's go ahead and check that out.
Eu sempre tenho pensamento sobre liga quando tem muitos jogos. Tipo, sempre um time bom, às vezes ele não vai conseguir se desempenhar no campeonato. É muito como esperado. Os caras montaram um time muito forte, a rapaziada criou uma expectativa em cima disso e, querendo ou não, eles não estão atingindo essa expectativa. E os caras têm ciência disso. Tipo, os caras continuam trabalhando, melhorando as coisas todos os dias, tá ligado? Então, eu acredito que, pra mim, o campeonato vai se iniciar agora, porque já foram 5 jogos, agora é reta final. Então, se você vai pro playoff, não vai ser decidido a partir dessa semana. Então, não tem como ter um veredito. Mas é aquilo que eu falei, às vezes um time muito bom, pode ser que ele não desempenhe bem no campeonato. Isso não quer dizer nada, tá ligado? Às vezes só não foi e paciência. Então eu enxergo o time da NRG dessa forma, entendeu?
Despite his, opinions on putting on socks and shoes, his demeanor is so calm there, and it is great how he approaches the game, Digizin, as well as, this Furia team. They really do have like a certain swagger about them, Mimi, that I think really has helped them out this stage, because it has been a little hectic at times.
It has been. They started off the first few weeks this season really impressing us. They found some big wins. We're looking incredibly dominant. We're innovating with new stuff in this meta, and we thought that they were going to be like a top 3 team, but then they started to hit this slump after they lost in a dominant game versus Loud. And since then, we've been kind of like, when is Furia going to come back? When are we going to see the Furia we expected in the first few weeks? And their game last week against MIBR, I think, gave us that glimpse.
We look at their wins, but I also want to point out the teams that they did lose to, Cloud9 and Loud. Those teams right now are number 1 and number 2 seed in our standings. So by far, it's like definitely some Kingslayer moments that we wanted to see out of them that they weren't able to ascertain. But regardless, the teams they're losing to are top of our league. It's not like bottom of the standings or inflated in any way like that.
It absolutely isn't. But this is another game where they're going to have to play an opponent that people are rating similarly, if not maybe even slightly higher in current form in those standings. So the question is, when can Furia go from the team that gets close, that almost upsets a top team, to a squad who is actually consistently in our top 3, top 4?
Yeah, I agree. And you're really going to be looking, it's Mimi's favorite subject, jet matches. You're going to be looking at the jet match. You're going to be looking at Digizin and Artists here to see who are going to be the ones to really push this forward for them, because you want to see that player just pop off and have those moments. And Digizin needs to be that guy here, because Artist is going to be hungry for that, Mel.
Especially with that roll swap with Artist back on the jet. He's unbelievably hungry, but speaking of roll swap, DJ Zine, he hasn't had any roll swaps. He's been playing the entire split on the jet and Chamber, as we've seen on split, so a lot to expect out of him today.
There is, and his last game, he had a huge recover. In the few matches where they were struggling against Loud, against C9, and in the very close game they had against CG, it seemed like he was struggling quite a bit to get involved in these opening duels, and oftentimes was kind of making a few unforced errors, maybe wasn't perfectly set up, but in the last match, it seemed like the coordination was on point with his initiator players. He was individually playing fantastic, and it's the same case for Artists too, now back on the full-time jet, like you're saying.
And the coordination with that initiator player as a jet main is really what I want to see out of Furia. Kind of what I hit on yesterday about Crew. Strategically, it might not be up to snuff with the likes of FNS. Come on, he's like a world-class IGL. He calls double fakes, triple fakes. And I haven't seen that much like that out of Furia. But tactically speaking, when we see how they hit a site and how they're able to take advantage of small little advantages in the round where the spacing is good, the initiator has a flash, it's going to look good.
Yeah, we know that the firepower is there, but now I got to ask you guys who you think is going to win. We're going to do some little predictions here real fast. It's a big one because Furia need this to clinch the playoffs. And we have both NRG, and I also went with NRG, but I can't find my board right now.
It's gone.
But I think this is overall going to be an awesome matchup because we have 2 teams that are ready and hungry to take the stage. 2 of the world's best duke it out for a shot at Tokyo and beyond. It's NRG facing off against Furia. VCT Americas starts right now. This stream contains fast-flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised.
Talking about him, and this is going to be the guy to look out for.
Too much Cryo again. Does this guy miss? Does Cryo ever miss? No, he doesn't.
Atenção, olha a TZ, escala bem, faz duplo abate, vamos, Fogão!
Se acaba tempo e
I think Furia's a strong team. They've played really well so far this season.
And they had no idea. MW with 2 big ones.
Mas olha só a movimentação, Sadak novamente primeiro a ser punido. Leva o twist! DGC!
Cara, o time da NRG, pra mim, é o mais difícil do campeonato, pelo fato de NRG e Loud são 2 cabeças pensantes absurdos.
Monta C, and here it comes. There's the timing! It's Som, slide off angle, wins his duels and more.
In terms of dealing with Furia, we're just gonna treat it as any other team. We like to focus on our own game.
Jumping straight up, you got to be taking his fights clean though, and it doesn't look just that likely. The frenzy's in the face, half under the fuse, sticking it through, no, gets off of it, trying to double play it. Derek, you need to win this fight. Oh my word.
E com certeza, alguém vai ter que se preparar, que a gente não vai dar mole, a gente vai chegar pra ganhar realmente, com intensidade, e a guerra é deles, mano.
First swing out. It's a 1-for-1. And they use the Reckoning. Oh.
Two teams both desperate for a win. North America's NRG going up against Brazil's Furia. It's all gonna go down right here, right now. Let's see how this plays out because, Mimi, these two teams are gonna bring it, I think, today. They look excited and ready to go.
They will, because for Furia, if you win this match, you have the 3rd team into playoffs. And for NRG, the rest of their strength of schedule is quite difficult. They still have Loud remaining. Winning here is a big step towards keeping their chances of playoffs safe.
Well, winning that, or winning this rather, is also a confidence boost going into Loud. I mean, we've seen Loud,
sure.
Again, we say it over and over, they're not perfect, they're not mortal, sorry, they're not immortal. Whoa.
I mean, I don't know, the way Ospas plays, sometimes I don't know if he's mortal or not, you know what I'm saying?
After watching their last match, maybe they are mortal. But
he's got divine light on him, you know what I'm saying?
It's going to be huge for them to get this confidence boost going into next week as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a difficult situation for NRG to find themselves in, and one that I genuinely just didn't think that they would be in at this point in the season. Coming into the Americas split, we were confident that NRG, top team in the league, no problems whatsoever. They tried different things. They went for some unique strategies. It just didn't work out the way that they wanted, but it's nice to see them back to the things that work for them, Mimi.
It is good to see them returning to that form. And for Furia, it's good to see Carlau returning to the team. This is only the 2nd match in Americas where they've actually gotten their coach with them in person. And the first match they played with him looked really good. They almost were losing out to MIBR. But at halftime, they had a talk and they came back in impressive form on Pearl and stomped Map 2 as well. It seems like this squad is renewed. They're returning to the form that we came to expect in the first few weeks from Furia.
Yeah, and I do wonder too, right, like the added pressure. I know we always talk about pressure, but Mel, as a pro player, you can probably attest to this because you do feel it when you're on that stage. Those guys, those 6 guys know the stakes that are on the line here. Win, you go to playoffs, you have a shot at Tokyo. How do you think that they're handling this one mentally right now in your professional experience?
I think having their coach back is going to be a huge aspect of that, honestly. Having that ability to just be up on that stage, and the pressure kind of fades away if you have that coach that's there. Finally, he's back, and he's able to motivate you, give you those tack timeouts that you need. You're not going to feel too stressed during the game if you know you have that anchor to lean on.
And to talk about the maps now, this to me seems like a good veto for NRG. They're very willing to bounce their ban around. In this one, they get rid of one of Furia's strongest in Ascent. And for Furia, they've had to just perma Lotus, which is a map that NRG also dislikes. likes. And all that means that
nice.
NRG gets to pick into Bind, a map that Furia have not shown yet, and that NRG looked incredible on.
I mean, NRG, you look at how they played last week versus 100 Thieves. They lost a 1v4, a 1v2, a 1v1. They lost a pistol, yet they still won 13-7. That is incredible. The macro and their gun rounds when they're not losing clutches is insane.
And map 2 is going to be another display of NRG's excellent macro. Haven has been FNS's playground for ages, and Furia is good at it, but these first 2 maps just look so damn strong for NRG.
Yeah, it is a bit alarming. I know that everyone's like, man, talent's always going for NRG. No, this series layout looks good for NRG. It's really hard to argue that. Furia have to have a plan.
And you have to give that credit to NRG because this is a squad of champions in the past, and they're starting to hit that form yet again. But let's narrow in on Bind. We already talked about the Harbor Viper comp for NRG. And Mel, my question of you is, do you think they go in the same direction? Already we're seeing the Brimstone instead for Furia.
Yeah, I think we're going to see that from NRG. Did Furia play Bind last week?
Not yet,
they left it open, so they are expecting to play this, and they have a week of footage, a week of time to look. They were expecting this map one out of NRG.
So this is some ancient history that is being pulled out here. It's been quite a while since
back when I casted.
Yeah, double duelists on this map, but it has come back into vogue on maps like Split as of late, and Furia, I think, have traditionally done very well with these double dive comps.
When you talk about teams that are tactically strong, this is the comp you want to run.
All right, we're all set, so let's go ahead and send it over to your casters. I choose you, Vancillian Rivington.
Activating cast attack.
It was super effective.
Exactly. Thank you, GB and M&M. And yes, indeed. I mean, DGZ Riv at the beginning of this show was talking about this is the final lap, the final race to see who's going to make it to the playoffs as well. And to the surprise of many, it's not NRG at the head of this race right now. And on top of that, you're going into Bind where they're walking into the unknown because Furia is yet to play it and they're pulling out a double duelist.
That's right. NRG has had a run on Bind. Actually, the only team that's played every map in VCT Americas right now. A lot of teams missing Lotus or Pearl in that sense. But yeah, NRG bringing this Harbor comp out, and maybe it's a place where Furia can attack. If they were watching last week, while Sam was playing that Harbor very well and very confident on the map that's returned, there was still a few of the Harbor walls that were punishable. We saw the team refining that strategy, so we'll keep an eye on that as well as we get into these rounds. Furia look to default Viper wall here up towards mid and go very fast.
Oh yeah, they're looking to go in with the Fury, and already getting the first blood. 2 kills coming out from MW0 as they take the advantage into the A site. Unorthodox right now is they're still trying to clear towards the site. Artis trying to fight in the back, but gets knocked down here by Digizine. A 3-on-2 now. Assam is now discovered by the Trailblazer. Look at Furia, just moving across the map. They don't care for this plan. They just want to fight, but NRG does so as well. In the flick of an eye, it becomes now Metzine on a 2 versus 1, having to clutch this towards the B-site plant.
Just unawares there for a moment on U-Haul control. Easy kills from Metzine. No util up just yet as it's counting down. There's a guiding light for him to detect, to get a little bit of info. Quick shots coming in from NRG, grabbing the first round. Really nice reactions within the site. I feel like NRG thought they had taken everyone out almost, and everything was still in front of them. But Sam sneaking around there, able to figure out Metzine was in that U-Haul. They rotate early after his kill and get that defused. Nicely done. NRG now into a buy round here. See how they keep moving Sam around the map as well, how they're using this high tide over and over, and then where this wall will go. We just saw that Finesse used it through the teleporter to also block off showers, something you can do now on Bind. And they're trying to just play this map to slow Furia down. You can see already Furia wants to go fast.
Sorry, I was vibing to the track there.
That is, yeah, I just noticed that the other day too. Just adding little things each time the maps are coming alive. Default guiding light down B. Digizine and team still want it. We have that Sheriff in the hands of Digizine here and MW0. Yeah. See if they can get some impact frags in.
Furia was just trying to walk into the Cloudburst to avoid the guided light being thrown out by Crashies for that information. As we're scaling up slowly, 4 players up towards B long, but still a late lurk towards Showers. It might be one of those rounds where we're looking to get the control towards the orbs unless we get some kills into the B site when this wall comes down. But Furia, once again, GV mentioned it, they have to come out with a plan. It's going to be the protocols, playing it very slowly, trying to find these gaps, take advantage of their eco round in the second round.
Yeah, right. Stay ahead of FNS, or Finesse rather. Not the easiest thing in the world to do. A good flank, though. I like the pressure from QC here. Quick coming out here on the right side. Digizen does open up the site, and he'll have elbow control as the team can slowly scale in now. Spikes down. Covered by Victor in the hookah.
That's an error in the column right there, because all of Furia were looking to suppress and support Digizine inside this B site, but the Spike's down out in the open in hookah. Double support out there, and it's the last two players of the support for NRG, actually.
One enemy
as QCK
remaining.
did get a pick. Now a pinch coming through as Som was on a 2 versus 1, and somehow the air column still gets fixed for Furia on that Thrifty.
Coming up with a very big round. I thought it was almost a mistake that Furia was so split there, trying to find different ways in without enough cover or utility to get each other, right? Digizine was so far ahead, and we still saw that QCK was on the other side of the map. They lost smokes almost right away, but still come up with the frags on the round. So a little bit of an error there, as you said, by NRG. And now it will be 3 guns on the board here, with still a few low buys from Azine and QCK. Furia, I don't think will let up on this pressure. They have been farming orbs for MW Zera, and I think we have another one right here in Showers once they gain control. That's going to be a lot of showstoppers NRG is going to be putting up with if this kind of ground can be gained each round. A little bit of a bank nade, trying to clear out Artis actually, so he's able to stay safe, but Mazine still knows.
Yeah, it's still getting pinged out. So
Oh, they
did a molly
more
instead, the
util.
wide swing to 3 players right there. And yeah, nothing really that NRG could do to clean up some kills. The highest buy that they had was a stinger, unless Finesse gets the flank here. Not gonna happen, but the showstopper now ready into this round.
Takes a Viper to know a Viper there. Quick
That's true,
turnaround
that's true.
quick turnaround kill for QCK. And now we'll have guns back on the board. Som does have the Reckoning. So if MW Zera does decide to go for the ultimate, there may be an opportunity to completely split MW from the team with that Reckoning and take him out as he comes into the site, nullifying a lot of the effect of the showstopper coming into this round. And honestly, it's a round NRG needs, having lost that second and third after their pistol round.
Water rising.
Oh, aggressive wall once again. There's the showstopper. Victor and Artis down.
Wow! We had a Reckoning available too for the retake for Som, as you wanted to try to play on that information, fall back and react, but they had no time to react with those instant kills coming out from the duelists, Digizine and NW Zera. And this is going to be a long attempt of a save now for the last 2 players of NRG. Already going through the TP, Finesse falls, and that's up to Crashies. Being lurked up now by QCK with support from NW Zera. Gets the first one, but a little bit off. Wow. Had an opportunity to line them both up, but now all of NRG lose their weapons. Nothing to work with moving into round number 5.
Furia getting the first kill every round so far will trigger a timeout here. Coming in from NRG, things are falling apart fast. NRG even with the thought there to throw the high tide early into that mid-air short area, get a little bit of space, but it was instantly taken. Nobody even cares. There's the wall of water in front of them. And just forward they go.
And that's a great point, actually, you bring, Riv, because that high tide, it's supposed to slow people down going through it. But now you have a jet dash that goes through it and double satchels. It doesn't slow down too much, because you have to react quick behind that. But again, NRG didn't have a chance, so the timeout's being called, and they have to adjust now to this aggression that Furia has been pulling out since the beginning of this bind map.
So if the way to protect for this is if you continuously see MW Zera farming these orbs, you just have to kind of push and pull like somebody's ready to hit a home run. Start backing up to the outfield, get out of the site, and make sure you can get back in for the play itself with enough members, because Furia is getting to these sites, finding NRG 2 members down, right? Yeah. We saw that dash in there. It's pretty interesting the way that they're able to get in and just make NRG look discombobulated right away. So 2 ults now, Crashies with Seekers. They should be able to defend out here. If getting a few kills, we may see those ults used so NRG can secure this low buy round. Furia on a tear, though. A split, too, for Digizine here. So Digizine has added a lot of pressure to the rounds, as we just saw. His focus towards B definitely draws some eyes if they see him other than this guiding light making info contact. So Furia now trying to play a little bit more of the map and get NRG mixed around.
You see the changes from buy now with both teleporters. You could bring that toxic screen across the TP, cover up hookah, cover up B, and then also even cover up the showers area.
But again, it's another one of those satchel pushes from Furia, taking control of Showers very early. And NRG forced to play these tight angles just behind these doors, behind these corners. Doesn't have the advantage with the Stingers that they currently have. Full armor, of course, on top of that for Furia.
Yep.
That's going to mitigate a lot of that damage coming out of these Stingers.
Sam there mitigating a 1 minute mark hit with a quick cascade towards mid. Artis wall up, so they're trying to deny everything right now. If you had a bit of that signature ability used, that 40 seconds would be up, you'd expect a second hit just about this time. So NRG just playing the game safe. And now trying to figure out what's happening. There goes Digizine again.
The crossfire is set up for the first kill. But it's still going to be Furia taking over this A site. You had the opportunity to play behind these high walls. Victor's not going down without a fight until that one. The swing out from NW0. And it's up to a 3 versus 1. But yeah, as I was trying to mention, they were trying to fight behind his high tide, but Medzine's Seekers really foiled all of those plans.
It's round after round. It just doesn't seem like they can get an answer on what Furia is doing here. And it's what they maximize, right? Being able to gather the utility to help Digizine, to help MW0, and even in different situations. If it's just MW0, that utility changes, and they make sure that it's confidently towards the raise, towards what a raise can kill. If it's Digizine, it's more of the util finding more backside, because he'll keep going. Really interesting way that Furia is able to scale the site or choose to stay back and still play this fight game here, right? Digizine doesn't go up and over. He stays early for default to get the quick trades. And it's a little bit later for MW0 to finish the round. Really versatile right now from Furia.
So another slow start for NRG. On bind, just as he did versus 100 Thieves on this very map. This time no Cloudburst though, so you get the early information from the guided light. To self-boost the adjustment to put more towards the B garden. And thankfully this orb, yes, is going to attack a bit. There's going to be a lot of utility to push Artis out of his position. Still opens up with the first kill, avoids the rest of that
He's going to get out of line.
Takes it away, and a showstopper comes out from Showers to connect onto Khalil.
The first bit of shower control we've seen now from NRG.
And QCKzo has been good on the lurk. And answers back onto Victor. It's up to Som by himself into the A site until he has backup coming up here from Finesse. Both players of Furia in this A site just trying to hold out towards U-Haul, towards Lamps.
Noise and TP maybe?
It's going to have to be potentially the last second. It depends if you get this position, this ground control, this map control towards the A site. If that's the case, we'll get the TP out through Showers.
It's actually great that that guiding light hit. It's pulling the confidence of NRG, knowing that they have one, but the anchor of Artis right now could be the play. It almost looks like Mazine wants to second guess this and head back with the team as they have so much site control right now. But 30 seconds mean he's going to have to haul over there and get into position.
Gets a pit out.
Yeah,
that might force the players to come out too. And Digizine punishes Finesse running out. Gets a second one of the crashes as well, but the reckoning comes out from Som. Disadvantage now for NRG. 10 seconds left on the clock. The plant comes down. And the players of Furia are playing inside of this pit. Madzine's still alive to get the heal up onto his teammates. Som now. Position given away by a flash. Pushing out towards the default and gets picked off by Madzine. Leaving now Artis solo. And he's gonna cut his losses. Moving back here to save the weapon, and that's Furia. With a punishing blow from Digizine right under heaven, out towards that A site.
Exceptional map control right now by Furia. Even trying to find themselves numbers down in situations, they're still able to encroach a little bit more into enemy territory, take the entirety of A, and pressure NRG's hand into a move that gets 2 members killed right away by Digizine. Like, absolutely incredible stuff. This is what they need here in this run, in this final run that they were talking about, that Digizine mentioned. 5-1 now. Here is NRG are getting taken down on bind. Their pick coming in, and like I said, we haven't seen too many other teams now on this bind map. They did play 100 Thieves to it, top 9 there, but you can't put it by a team. They haven't been practicing the heck out of bind right now. And Furia looks to come with a little bit of counterplay too, to exactly how NRG wanted to play their defense.
100%. You get that definitely from the coach that's finally able to meet up with Furia.
Yeah, Carlisle, so helpful.
And Frost.
Yep.
pages of anti-strat usually being put against these teams, any team that they play against. And now an eco round. The save weapon doesn't come into fruition here as Artist also gets picked off. You're hoping to do something. A fake check from QCK allows Finesse to upgrade into a Phantom, but the rest of Furia is still moving into B for a plant.
NRG actually go for a big move on this one. Big kill by Finesse there, but already damage done by Jitazine over there on NRG's wall, playing it against them.
Big flash.
Right in the retina. Little ping towards back here. They trailing.
It's another one to fall. So this
See how long he waits.
Another weapon upgrade. Now we decide, do we want to save these? And indeed we are. Artist is already at 800, so these are going to be very important weapons moving into the next round for NRG. But one thing at least now for Furia is cycling through these ultimates that they hand round after round, starting from a showstopper, then to a seeker, then onto a pit. Digizine still has his daggers. And 1 or 2 rounds away, you may have Khalil coming out with the orbital strike, so the protocols of really cycling through these type of ultimates. Playing aggressive around the ultimates too for Furia is paying off.
Incredible what Furia can do at this point in this game. You look to Digizine on top, 4-0 right now. First kills, first deaths. Victor's at 0-3. They're finding ways to shut down the defense and the offense of the defense, if you will. Victor cannot get this chip damage in. He can't find late game or late time in the round to continue helping the team with utility. Okay, so they're gonna ult quickly onto A.
Yep.
Or sorry, onto B long. And holding A with 3 right now. So NRG trying to force the hand of Furia a little more. We just saw Finesse pushing mid. They have to start putting something on the docket in the beginning of these rounds to make Furia think different.
And it works out quite well.
Yep.
The pit that you have down towards long B. Crashy's playing behind it. You can flash through it. Play this off angle to get the kill onto MW0, and you're trying to funnel your opponents into that operator from Victor that we just heard ring and get the first blood into the round. Same thing though on the attack. Digizine has his own operator.
Yep.
It's only those 3 players trying to move forward. Up shot miss as the Blade Storm also does for Digizine. As we're falling back here towards this B site. Medzine still has a flash to work with. Crashy's trying to find an information and gathers it, so that pulls now Artist to rotate from this A site to B for support. Here comes the full hit. But it still crashes on his own as Artist falls on a rotate to spawn. Big Trailblazer to get a hit and a smoke to actually protect Khalil. He gets 2 kills on that, and that's the orbital strike that we just talked about. 23 seconds left, but at least Som gets the kill onto Medzine. 3-on-3 is the 3-on-2 rather, is the pit still up. They're covering down towards the spawn. Victor head-to-head. Op versus Op. Up against Digizine and Khalil, the last 2 players alive for Furia into this round. And as Victor peeks out, Digizine gets the aggressive push in. A 2v2 now. 2 rifles make that 1 rifle, and a Blade Storm for the headshot.
They do it again? Furia is out of their minds right now. You have a team that wins 35% of their 4v5s. It's the highest in the league, and they just did it again. Actually, that was a 3v5 as well. But incredible, the things that Furia can find a member down to still work an opponent as strong as NRG to find the way into the site. Khalil, the #1 on this, and a great finisher by both of them in the 2v. Whatever it needs to be, they're doing it right now. Incredible stuff.
7-1 in favor of Furia. Desperate times now for NRG. Wanting to change the game plan, play more aggressively. 3 players pushing forward. Does some damage onto Khalil and forces him to fall back. As Furia is also doing the same. All defaulting here to see if NRG is going to continue to press forward. We might activate a little bit later on here with a minute left on the clock, waiting for the heals to come back from Medzine onto Khalil. Op shot missed towards long B here, but we couldn't capitalize on a double swing for the kill. But Victor pushes forward. It's instant trade at least. Should have had that shot onto QCK, but now the res comes out early. Same positioning right again for Crashies. Right by the shed. The satchel coming through. Shot missed. The swing out for MW0. Trailblazer from behind.
Oh my. It's a dance.
I don't think it saw Finesse, though. As Crashies falls, he still gets the kill to Matzine. So that's the spike down and the snake bite onto NW0. Offshot misses as Soft gets the kill onto Digizine. Up to Khalil now to 3 versus 1. TP's across towards the A site.
Smoke. Has 1 smoke left to work with, and he uses it towards spawn. And at least guarantees the plant.
Does he have the lineup?
All 3 players are already there. Gets the first
Got
one
2.
there. The second one. Oh, that's a long bang! Almost gets it left there, but Artist saves it for NRG. An expensive round, but at least we'll take the round for NRG.
And too close, fans.
Yeah.
Too close. That was almost another round where Furia find the clutch. It won't happen. NRG, take a breath. NRG, do grab it. But it's every player is having absurd moments on the side of Furia right now. You can see NRG pushing up a little bit more. Getting the battle res here is very big. But any kind of ground they can gain in the beginning of a round versus Furia seems to be pivotal for NRG's information and the rest of the map.
And that was a mistake there from Matzine, not clearing that left corner with the Trailblazer, which forced the spike to fall with Finesse with the corner pick, allowing for NRG to really gain an advantage, make Furia scramble on the retake of the spike. Now taking control of the orb too.
Yes.
A low buy coming out for NRG. Snake bite to delay from Finesse as he falls back. We got Judges, Vandals, Bulldogs. As both Snake Bites already used. Oh my!
Spike down.
That
B.
went through the TP from the A site.
Beep boop. That was saucy. Very nicely done. Coming out of Victor right there. And I was wondering, here's almost have a fight on Hookah. I was wondering when that exchange for the Alt Orb and Shower would change. Fury was getting that for free over and over. Once you get the Viper Wall and the Sage Wall in, it's next to impossible to break that. Uh-oh. Little cat and mouse Victor with the 4K.
Yeah, we'll take that for sure.
Nicely done.
Beautiful showstopper and the answer back. Salvaging these rounds. Like we mentioned, it started off 7-1 pretty much since this eco that Furia won on that second round. And now it's time for Furia to even try to get that lead back.
Yeah.
Continue that spread of the lead that they've built.
This pause comes out after the first round. Furia have not been able to plan. Very aggressive from them in this game. Being able to get into the site, test NRG on the defense. There's one of the reasons they didn't plan. Nuke going into Hookah, able to take out most of the team. So seeing what they can shore up in that sense, not doing too bad. But at 7-3, we do see the coach wants to call a timeout and make sure the team stays on this path to victory. Few ultimates ready. Seekers, Orbital Strike. Post-plant becomes even stronger now for Furia once they get these plants going again. If NRG cannot stop them. And they're close to getting a 9-3 here with a very dominating first half. The rounds they've won have not been messy, clean to the end. And they've been taking their time, too. We talked about the 4v5s. They're 2-0 in 4v5s when they're down a man on this map. I talked about their percentage earlier. I forgot the average. So they're at 34%. The average for winning those 4v5s is 27%. So, yeah. Furia is pretty wild when it comes to organizing the mid-round, figuring out the best practice to get back into that man-down situation.
Now as we resume the round, 11 here in this first half. Furia once again, the default of moving up, the double clear to make sure that nothing is coming up on either ends here of Long B. Operate, or should I say, sorry, a Phantom coming out from Victor in this round, actually, as they don't have it anymore. And same thing for Digizine. Vandal on his end. As Furia pulls back to go for an A hit.
Off. I've got your trail.
Whoa. Snakebite slow to start things off. Nice shot from Finesse. Swapping NW0 from the air. Orbital Strike on the attack. We've played out towards U-Haul.
Yeah.
Som is also waiting in there. Counter Seekers coming out from the defenders. As it does get the hit onto Digizine. Artist trying to move forward, flushed out by Amali, forced to fall back, makes it back safely at least, as 3 players are closing in. Nice paint shells towards Towels as now the spike falls. Now the battle of the new barrel. Out towards the changes of the A bind. Matzine fights back onto Crashies, but still at a disadvantage or Furia.
NRG are doing all of this while Sam's still in sight, so great delay.
Wants to make sure that Furia, if they decide to TP towards the B site, could be there, but it's not needed. Somehow Digizine
cannot stop
opens up the site again, and the plant putting some at low HP in a 2 versus 1.
Furia right back to planting the spike. And now Sam, this harbor unbind, can he get the clutch?
One enemy remaining.
There is that wall bang to answer back at the Mazine, but he's now down to 6 HP. Trying to find Digizine here, and forces out the high tide.
Blocking fire.
The Cove then onto the tap. The Gulag to come through, but he steps out of it and gets punished once again by Digizine, who's coming out to play today.
Last round.
Feeling so good there. And we even see a change from NRG on that round and how they set up. With that high tide, them came Artis is slow. So they're predicting that there's going to be this fast hit from Furia, but they still can't stop it. Again, the round goes long. Furia figures out the positioning. Digizine does Digizine things. And it just happens. Really nicely played by Sam there to actually exit just a bit on a back left kind of walk. So you get the spherical help from your Cove in which angle you're about to see. So pretty heady play there, but still doesn't get it. And right in again go Digizine and crew. Furia's in A.
Now Sam's trying to play Duck Hunt after he pulls out the Reckoning. Bodies flying everywhere, but it's still Furia with the first blood. Trying to delay as much as we could, but we've delayed enough for the rotate to come across. Operator in the hands of Victor. All of the members of NRG is rotated across. Operator now lost. Pit to cover out towards U-Haul as Sam finally answers back. And he's gonna have to do heroic plays. The full slice, double pit pretty much.
They're still in sight, and Furia's taking it.
Yep, and the wall bang onto Mattine. The second one onto Endo. You can let's get all these kills through the smoke. Oh my gosh. A 1 versus 1 up to Digizine once again. Spots finesse. Closing in on the gap. The legs are peeking out.
Just hunting.
But Digizine wins that fight, and they get that 9-3. The clutch coming out from Digizine.
He's loud, but I've never seen him stand up, fans. Oh my word, Furia knows the beating that they're delivering to NRG right now.
That was so close there, an opportunity to get things done for NRG. A moment where Sam could have swung it around for their side. Those 4 kills that he got through the Viper's pit.
Oh my god.
Caught into a reload, nothing that he could do, did his job. It's just floated across. Always saw that angle there on to finesse and finally closes in for the kill. And with that, it's time to toss it over to our international icon, Golden Boy.
Thank you so much, Riven Van Silly. You know, you can question the way that Digizine puts on his socks and shoes, but you cannot question that my boy is out there fragging on the server right now. Mimi, Digizine was like Mary Poppins. He was like a deadly version of Mary Poppins, except with knives.
I'm convinced that he was just unkillable. The last 2 rounds, both, it looked like NRG was going to pull something out, and then Digizine just closes things in a ridiculous fashion. And it even rewinds earlier in this game. It was just in the first few rounds that this double duelist comp got rolling. The executes were just, it didn't seem like NRG was ready for the pace.
That story begins at the start of the half. They got ecoed the second round, and then countless times we're seeing NRG up in a ban advantage, 2-man advantage, and Furia still finds a way to claw back in. This is uncharacteristic from NRG, these unforced errors, letting Digizine take advantage of that, and a player of his caliber, he's gonna hit those shots.
Like 400 ACS right now. It's absurd what he's putting up. And the thing is, it's a double duelist comp too. So it's both him and MWJera doing such a good job setting the pace in this one. I think you're seeing here some of the moments where NRG is still new to this composition. I think of that round 4 we just watched, where like someone's trying to put up a sage wall, a harbor wall is trying to get thrown, while they're getting fully ran over. This is reminiscent of the first time that Loud was bringing back double duelists on Split, actually versus NRG.
That's actually quite fascinating, and it leaves us in a question of like, did NRG do enough Mel this half? Like 8-4, that's tough, right? You know, do you feel good about them going into the next half, NRG?
I mean, NRG's attack halves have always been insane. You can cope by saying it's the defense. They do have a very strong comp for defense, but we'll just see what they cook up on attack.
I mean, you say 9-4? I would have thought that too.
Oh, 9-3, sorry. I said 8-4, my bad.
They robbed 2 rounds right at the end. It was absurd that TG won that. It should have been 8-4. It should have been a better opportunity for NRG, but Furia is so heavily in the lead. They're looking at peak form. I feel like this map might just be over.
Yeah, Furia is looking on fire. NRG needs to find an answer. Let's send it back to the casters.
Thank you, GB, Mimi, and Mel. And yes, indeed, a tough fight Not a scoreline that you want to see if you're a fan of NRG to start things off on their map pick. And now as Furia takes the defense, an opportunity for even DJZ to shine on the operator. With the way that he's been playing that first half, man, they got to figure out a way how to stop him.
Yeah, it's going to be tough if he's going to be holding hard angles. And to look at, actually, just thinking back to NRG playing 100 Thieves, they had trouble containing Asuna blasting into the site and lost a few rounds from that, but came back on the attack side. So almost history repeating itself here. Not in scoreline, but just in the style we saw for NRG's first Vine game here.
So interesting.
Oh,
Three players playing towards the TP as they're going through. For Furia, Trailblazer to clear out the site, the double to push across. There's that trade, but there's still two players to close in on the Crashies. And he does his job. A 3 versus 3. Finesse on the reeler for that double kill himself. A great start for NRG into the second pistol.
Wow, okay, things slow down for just a second here, thanks to Artist, but mid's getting pushed. Victor with another frenzy.
Not enough time here for QCK to come on a rotate to support his teammate. Now has to clutch a 3 versus 1 with only a Ghost. The first tap onto the spike, the spray across. The wall comes down on the other end, still gets the second kill. It's a 1 versus 1, but finally Victor is there with the frenzy. Just to save on the recross back to site as NRG gets the second pistol.
Oh my god, that round I actually couldn't tell if we had a defensive team. Furia played offense just as much as NRG there. Coming through the teleporter right off the rip. DJZ finding another first kill. And it just making NRG not look as coherent as we're used to seeing them. Honestly, DJZ is just having such a day over both Victor and Artist, who are down in first kill, first deaths. He is the duelist to watch right now. He's actually just like, MW, if you want to grab my slack, you can. But it's wild to see where DJZ gets going. Here we are into a round 14 and a bit of a map split here for NRG. They're going to use just a mid wall to go up. We'll see a few different ones here from Finesse as they try to work the map and condition their opponent, something that Finesse is so good at. We'll have to see how they try to here in the early parts of the game.
Exactly. The cascade that was pushed forward, and Medzine thought that he had a timing to get information down towards Sand, but Crashies was already ADSing towards the fountain. Back into that spot, doing a lot of heavy damage. Now as they gain access into the B site, the wall across, the execution comes in. And Medzine gets punished, trying to find that timing. All ready to rotate, at least comes back though for Furia. Pain shells ringing it across just to delay the plant a little bit more, but Crashies will finally get it down.
Spike planted.
Yeah, they still have Finesse on the outside here. Not really worried about what kind of firepower is going to be coming from Furia. They can take this with that flank watch. This could be a bit of a backstab. I don't know for who yet. Depending on who moves here first. Looks like Finesse will get the upper hand, being super patient.
If anything, to the loss of Som.
They're waiting for DJZ.
The timing on this.
Oh my word!
Riv
Now
with
they're gonna
another
go.
cast curse.
I'm sorry.
There's a trade there from Som. At least we're going to seal the deal here, rather, for NRG. They're going to be able to at least capitalize on that second round, getting the second one into converting the pistol round that they won, which they failed to do in that first half.
Consumed and paid. Get a little bit of that money back.
We know what we're doing. Trust each
Now,
other and we'll be fine.
NRG grabbing the second one. Can they get their bonus? String some of these rounds together and catch back up to Furia and the pace they're trying to put here on to bind their first play of the map on VCT Americas now. Control ping over towards showers. I think we're gonna get DJZ up on the box there. And we'll play a little bit of duelist utility through this A site if NRG does decide to take it after all. Right now set up towards the default. And this wall just continuously used now by Furia, right? Oh, actually this one doesn't go through the teleporter. So a little bit of a miss on that one to the right. Shower control for Orb. Seekers for Crashy, so they're going to focus that up more than we saw MW Zera getting focused on that raise. You can see how much Finesse and the team really prioritize that information.
Smokes down. DJZ's on the top of the boxes to try to get a shot as soon as his wall comes down. Spots Song crossing over and dashes in back towards the site. Does get information on two players as a high tide comes out and a full execution for NRG. Sage wall coming up for a safe plant. Even a Cove was dropped down to guarantee that plant. It's up to NRG to hold their grounds now as the high tide's about to come down. Victor with the forward position towards the APC. We hear the TP out towards the A side.
Great
and it's
coverage.
Mazine that gets the kill into Crashing. It's almost a punishment there onto one. But it's still NRG at a disadvantage.
CK. They're finding it.
Onto the spike. 2 left alive now for NRG. It's Artis and Victor on a 2 versus 3. Victor going inside the Cloudburst for the kill of the Jazine. Big kill to get as he gets traded off by Madzine. Artis on a 2v1. Makes it twice. Makes it 49 HP. Artis and the Ambulance put them in the clinic.
Oh, he does. Get out the stretchers. Wheel him in. Exactly what NRG needed. That bonus was huge, as we mentioned at the beginning of the round, to catch back up to Furia here. And that round actually looked like NRG had positioned themselves in the post plant for almost too many 1v1s. We saw Crashies go down there at the beginning, and then there was this, the showers was taken. Quick got a kill, and it was all up to Artis. But you know what? Artis has been on point the last few weeks, even going back from the Jet to this Sage. So no worries there for NRG.
This is a very important round. We're right now on a smaller buy, focusing on potentially this orb for Digizine, just to get the Blade Storm activated. A jump spot though from Madzine towards long, damage down to 53.
Bit of a flash.
Uses them both right away.
Can't get out.
Second time gets punished right there for information. Wall comes up here from Hookah. But Digizine's just holding his angle this whole time, not picking up any orbs.
This is a spike down strat as well for NRG, so you know they're trying to get exactly that out of Mazine. Who's going to fight us? Who's going to think we're only just pushing up to gain this space to go in? No, it's a fake. It's back to A for NRG. And this is what Finesse loves to do. Wait out these rounds, see who else can push. The patience here from Sam as well. We'll find Digizine from Showers.
That might open up the A site. See the lurk coming out from 2 other players from NRG. That's Finesse and Crashies. Making sure that we clear out towards U-Haul. There's a flash to spot nothing. So the call for the rotate. The other 2 players that were defaulting towards the B site, group it up. As NRG now are able to walk into an open site. Thankfully they did, because if they wanted to split into the B site, there was QCK with a judge waiting there.
And leaving nothing to chance. The anti-eco has played perfectly so far. You may lose a few on the way out if Furia can be Furia and find those weird kills. But it looks like they're all staying up. No, never mind. They are not staying. I thought they were going to stay by teleport, but now they're going straight through to the site, and you're also going to get QCK.
Enemy remaining.
And speaking of QCK, he's now the last player standing.
Farmed. Farmed.
Sam has a sixth sense today here.
That was like 5 jaws on the floor on the screen right there. Everybody in awe on that one. Sam's Harbor on this map. You gotta call it out. It provides so much for the push, the space gaining, if they really want to go up towards mid, if they want to slow some things mid. We saw the Harbor Wall on defense was mostly being used to control a lot of what is coming up that gut into A.
Check him PC for that kill.
Check him PC. Yeah, just seeing the defuse clutches he had last week as well. Feels good on that Harbor, and Sam is making some content.
And just like that, 7-9 right now. Closed in gap, our NRG looking much stronger on the attack, much more comfortable. As his double controller might be that opportunity to really split these sides open and get into here, but it's been a lot of these plays where converting into that bonus round actually against Furia's gun round really hurt them for Furia.
NRG's been so good at getting that spike down. 4 out of 4 rounds they've been able to collect here. So yeah, Furia really struggling on getting those retakes. Not one yet successful here in this second half. So really have to see how they switch things up. That could probably be reaching deep into the pockets as we see Digizine has an op now. Bladestorm online as well. And when we see Furia timeouts, I did an analyst segment on the desk on this, always look for funky stuff to happen after. They usually try to flip the game on its head when they come out of a timeout and throw something at you you're not ready for. And look right in mid.
Yep.
With an op in mid. Is he just gonna walk up and shake their hand? Crazy stuff. Digizine already in the combat zone.
And then MW0 looking for the support too. Paint shells needed through the TP. If he needs that support from the B site, the flash does get information onto at least one player out towards B long. And that was a flash thrown here by Madzine. But for NRG, we want to move in quickly. Showstopper already activated for Victor.
Yeah, pressure stopper.
Wait, it forces out to rotate.
Exactly.
Jazine is still waiting here at this cubby angle with this operator. Are we double guessing? We're second guessing for Furia. Staying back towards the back of B site.
Oh my god.
The barrel of the gun sticking out. Jazine does get that kill out the finesse. But meanwhile, though, NRG has closed the gap, has made it into B site. Seekers to answer back, knowing that we're getting pressure towards elbow. Furia looking to fight back in that angle as well. As the plant at least comes down for NRG. All players are Furia towards the spawn. 3 players of NRG stacked inside the site with Artis watching it from hookah. There's finally the first blood on the attempt for the retake for Furia. As we've eaten up on a 4v4. Big flash now coming out from NRG as they pick up 3 kills out of that, leaving MW0 by himself. A great hole for NRG on the post line, off Crashy's flash. And this will seal the round now for NRG. The triple swing there. And now we are only 1 point away at tying up Bind.
They will not let Furia win a retake. And that, at the beginning of that round, I was like, oh my gosh, they're not letting Finesse mind game them on these rotations, right? Digizine came up on top of that play, but it didn't matter.
One enemy remaining.
The play still happening mostly inside the B site in the majority. And NRG still held that strong. Fist bumps all around, and like you said, within 1 round of tying this now. And like I said before, 100 Thieves had a great attack versus NRG, but when NRG got back on attack, that was a different Bind that we saw. Here, they're showing us once again how powerful they are at working the map and having the upper hand on their opponent once they get to the site. Let's see if they can get the plant down again here. 100% so far on this half for NRG.
Big snake bite pushing Khalil away. Another flash blinding NW0. Could be the same person in the eyes of NRG as they're looking to scale back into the control of U-Haul.
Loper?
Plant. But Util tried to force him out. Som still gets it down as Artis gets the first into the round.
Very high tide. Coming around. Digizine slowly making his way towards Victor at this point.
Looking for the Bane switch. Hiding behind the wall, but Digizine comes back with the Blade Storm. Both of them hiding inside the smoke. It's Dusty. Vandal now picked up. Spraying across, but Finesse is the one that gets the kill.
Oh my gosh. What? Just huddled there in the same spot. That's actually such a weird situation to be in because usually you are not planting if it doesn't feel like you have full control of the site. But yeah, they were very happy to set up this little fight, up, down, quick double stack towards that area. And with the wall set up, turned around behind them, it wouldn't work anyways if they did win the fight. Really clever stuff coming out of NRG there to mix up Furia on the take. 9-9 now. Still spending big. Operator on the side of Furia as we go straight for the showers. Flash through with an own smoke. Nicely done. Trying to break a little bit of space, but they do not get Furia to move just yet.
Now is a molly being thrown by Khalil towards showers just to push Victor back. NW0 still has his pain shells. If NRG are looking to re-hit towards showers. Meanwhile, though, it's looking to be aggressive for a push into U-Haul. And that snake bite allows a Finesse to put out that pit. And with the high tide again, potentially another Cove plant. NW0 already used his pain shells as NRG are slowly walking in.
Right here. Finesse used this same strategy before NRG did to actually rotate a team over to A and fake B. This time they full A, drawing out the ultimates and still having control. So that is not going to cook U-Haul. They still go for the plant with the orbital strike.
Yeah. But while the orbital strike came up, Fury were damaging this Sage wall, and it's about to drop. So might make it a little bit difficult here to go for the plant, so it comes down to this lurk out towards showers. Victor moving forward, MW0 looking to clear with his own
30
boombot.
seconds left.
And that's gonna foil the plans for a bit. It's gonna come down to the final seconds for this plant. As the high tide comes back up here for the attack. Som still gets a kill through the high tide that he put up, so that's Khalil to fall. That gives the opportunity for a late lurk to happen as the plant comes down for NRG. Off so far doesn't get any value. Reckoning out onto this post plant as Victor has that angle into showers. Finesse on that 1v1. Oh, the no-scope cannon from Digizine.
Oh my gosh.
Right into the chest. But Som gets that lurk out towards U-Haul. And now it seems that NW0 is just pinned. Out towards the A side, doesn't know where to go.
Save.
And it decides to go away to save his weapon. And just like that, it's NRG taking the lead for the second time into this game on Bind. Surprising, because it was a pistol that they won.
An incredibly dominating half so far. NRG have planted every round and won every post plant on this attack. They are just not stopping. And Furia can't find an answer. They are absolutely just dumbfounded on how to get NRG down more than a few players before they're in the site. Sam has been alive for the majority of these rounds and is one of the ones on the front line here. So NRG protecting each other so well, covering the angles, and absolutely using that util to the max to keep Furia back. No layers from Furia have worked yet to get back in these retakes. Low buy again. This is where NRG swings the round themselves. Look at that. The score line, just NRG dominating the second half.
And that's Sam at the helm. At the top here of the scoreboard for NRG, and for Furia, you see this Phantom being perked. Well, for MW0 that he saved in on that previous round, rather. Trying to play aggressive with the Digizine's Sheriff. But that wall coming up here from Finesse is just going to push them back. Trying to play this very patiently. QCK now being pushed away by paint shells, even a Trailblazer to clear out towards Hookah, so that nullifies the Judge.
Pretty quiet round from what we've seen before, Vance.
Exactly. And that's the thing, too. Furia, for the first half until now, has always been very, very loud.
Yep.
Very aggressive, and they don't have that opportunity now on this double duelist play on the defense to get too much value. NRG's doing a good job just using that utility to clear everything that they can before they move into these final hits.
A little bit of a hold shift around for now. A lot are here. I like the push up by Digizin to be ready for anything to come back across the map. And it looks like Cascade and the rest of this util will be the fake. Nobody's there immediately. They have to regain the space, Vansili.
Oh, the timing on that. They double TP from the A site. They wanted to go for a trap play for paint shells into Sands. But instead, NRG off this timing moves into an open A site.
How is there no call that... No, they're not in sight. Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe they're ready to play full retake here, but it just looks like Furia got absolutely bamboozled. They are stronger coming back together on this eco round. So maybe they just wanted to get themselves the safety. We'll give them benefit of the doubt for a moment here as Digizine comes around the corner to crash his Phantom.
Yeah, Crash is just waiting there with the Vandal as he gets that easy pick off. We potentially had that power numbers back towards the spawn when QCK could maybe try to retake with the Judge, but there's a lot of that time that's being wasted so far. It's not looking here that Furia wants to try to attempt to hurt the economy of NRG. Also not wanting to give away any of these ult orbs in a situation that seems to have lost for Furia. Also wanting to keep this Phantom that MW0 kept on that previous round.
Wow.
So protocols are in for Furia. The patient game, playing the long game on top of that and trying to get their money right until these final rounds of Bind.
NRG not letting Furia's timeout come into play, not letting any of these defensive strats affect them, and Finesse continues to call around what's happening on the map. Different wall setup here from the side of Furia, looking to just cover more towards Hookah. Maybe expecting Artist to get up, play for a battle resin somewhere on that B site. Double push towards Showers for Furia here. It's going to be a quick alt orb, it looks like, for MW0. So we could have a showstopper here that Furia's planning on in the next rounds. Oh my, he's so aggressive with the off.
Trying to do a little bit of a punish here from the timing of the Trailblazer. But the heal did come out here from Artist, so it was potentially a wallbang.
Here.
They haven't fully taken shower control yet either. Being very patient. Digizine backside here trying to hold, but this looks like a commit for NRG. They've done this all five in the same spot, and they just set up this little protective area, and Furia does not seem like they can break it. Here comes the wall, here comes the cove. Plan is down with 2 and you all.
Artist is trying to get that punish with the Vandal against the operator of Digizine. Now wall gets instantly broken on the defender side. So they're trying to retake, already 4 players inching in from Furia. The TP coming out too. Crash, she's looking for the late lurk. 3 players are inside the showers here for Furia. They're closing into the new boxes. Som with an off angle down towards towels as Digizine does make the operator ring to make it the player advantage for Furia on this retake. And it's working out for the defenders. The lurk doesn't work out, but the flash it will. It's gonna blind so many, but he only gets one. It's at halfway. It's up to Artis. He does get the first pick. The second one.
silly.
And back up to the tap.
Okay.
But then finally, the high-low then in the end.
Team A.
Furia is able to stop the bleeding as they get round number 10.
Finally locked out, find that defuse. A little bit more room on these rounds. They have so much to work through on the side of NRG. That just being their first retake of the second half. And that just tells you how punishing this has been. And a big factor for the retake, the start with the operator and the team flooding in together right here. We got a little sketchy there at the end. On somebody might have made a call that Artis was short, but he was indeed showers. This operator. Oh, they hear the blast packs.
Oh,
spam through the wall from Victor.
What a pre-fired shot there. Predicting the repeat of somebody at least, and it's Digizine with the operator. And that will initiate NRG's fast take into the A site. Still a player behind here towards U-Haul, and that's QCK. Trying to find the timing as it gets the headshot to Finesse. Answered back though by Crashies as they're still looking for this plant, making sure that nobody else is pushing out for Fury, at least for now. Coast is clear. Cove is down. The plant now comes in.
Spike planted.
Oh.
It's rocket after rocket. Pain shells on the ground. No damage up to NW0 as he moves in. Out towards showers now. The wall
show goes on.
Blocks the showstopper from doing any damage. Seekers then to get a bit of information. The flash to follow behind the Seekers. It's time for Crashies to play behind the towels. A flank coming out from Madzine as it's currently being watched by Artis. No kills are coming in yet. NRG with the protocol play. And Furia looking to fall back to pick the operator and save here. Do some damage, but it's not going to be enough. I mean, NRG's rich so hard. And the operator doesn't get saved. A big round for NRG to put them at map point, and the economy broken for Furia.
There's no way they buy another op.
Nope.
That's huge. Didizine's at 100 credits. Crashies enjoying everything about it. It's that gum buff. He's still chewing gum. Gotta check that gum. So where will they go this time? Setting up, it looks like they do want to get Mazine to get some information down long B, but the ping is going there from NRG. Last time they played this, it was the hold shift round, walk up and find Mazine alone. That's how they started that round. They might look just like that again with a little bit of a lurk here from Finesse.
And this is one of those rounds that really hurt here for Furia. Breaking that streak from NRG, the 8-round streak that they had. They win the round, then they lose this one here, and the economy's still in shambles. Thankfully, there's still a Blade Storm available for Digizine. This is pushing up here with QCK, trying to play the bait and switch out at short A. Meanwhile, for NRG, understanding the slow economy, trying to do the same thing, trying to see if Fury is going to try to do the same thing. To jump peek, find information, punish them as they try to gain this information. And thankfully here from Manzine, uses a Trailblazer first to confirm at least some sort of contact here at long.
That's the second time we've seen Finesse with lineups here on B. Super big fan of lineups that aren't in the post plant. They're helping to take. He has a few that land on the spot on the box at B and in Cubby. As the B site happens, Mazine is ready.
Artis had to stay alive here. That res, and it's Metzine to get 2. Finally, Finesse answers back. 40 seconds left. Smoke coming out to delay here on the defensive side. And NRG are looking to push back towards A. Still got a player waiting right here in front of your screen, in front of your eyes.
30 seconds left.
It's QCK with the judge.
You will be judged. Let's see how this works out.
NRG does have util for this if they want to try to clear it. They're looking for the walk play instead.
This would be huge. Oh, they're not even guns out!
Spike down A.
13 seconds left. Victor will hear the TP at least for one player. But Digizine's already around the corner. There's the Blade Storm. Up draft and the right click.
Woo. You actually, a great hit there as we keep this one going. 12 to 11 now as Furia get another retake on this. You actually see Brimstone smokes now sometimes on top of that box with New Bind, and that and just around to the L box. So you don't have a Raze or a Digizine jumping up to frag your planter like so. So many good spams today. And not smoke spams, the wall spams. The better kind.
The annoying kind if you're receiving it, though.
They were so sure that this was clear, but you got to expect somebody around the corner every time, especially with Furia. And how they're always coming out of the woodwork. Timeout coming in here, looks like from NRG. They have a lot of ults to come out and use into the next round. They've seen that, we actually just saw from NRG, they tried to molly out Mazine there in the garden area, right before the entrance into B. Yeah. I think that's where we saw that the molly from Finesse was going. So playing off the previous round where they killed, like I said, a solo Mazine there. Little things that NRG's trying to do. We still didn't see the molly hit though. Kind of refined. Hit the roof. Crowd's ready for this point.
And that's where you need players like Mazine to play out in the open like that to land shots like you did with the Guardian to really turn around over in their favor. And
exactly.
Yes, and now it comes down to this final round of regulation. The money's back in favor for Furia's buy. And it will be potentially a judge or rifle buy here for the last player for QCK, and it's going to be small shields with the Vandal. No operators from either end. But at least for NRG, they have ults to work with here. We mentioned that res on that previous round from Artis.
Yep.
Seekers to clear out sites. But for NRG off this timeout, it looks to be another protocol play, a default. Doing the same damage shots out towards Long B. But what's changed here for Furia is this smoke coming down towards Long B to try to delay as much as we could, wasting that utility from NRG very early into the round.
Exactly. You kind of try to fake out if somebody's grabbing orb, maybe get a molly out to try and deter that. Just going to be Vandal shots this time. Big push. And they know, they just use a Trailblazer B long, so they know they can keep pushing this in mid.
Jazine with the tailwind, stopped by Som, and those Seekers actually might call out the second player. NW0 pushed out, who's forced now to satchel away to safety. Raz then comes out, the advantage comes in for NRG into this round, but Mazine also pushed forward to get the position out towards Long B.
Checking the flank quick as they still take the site slowly with this wall. It's hard for anybody in U-Haul to take this fight. And you never really want to stack everyone in U-Haul, so that 2v1 becomes NRG's once again.
Reckoning 2, Khalil now has to dance around, along his teammates as well, and there's that TP towards that B site, but I've mentioned that push from Mazine, now the off angle towards the garden. Satchel in, he plays clear Jim's game, and it's cleared by Som this time around. Only one more to go. Nice shot, nice 2 shots from Khalil. A 3v1 now, at least a spike is planted for NRG. Khalil is leaning, lurking into the site. Some looking for the ground control back towards elbow.
Launching smoke.
And all they need to do now is play the pulse plant.
So smart.
Orbital strike into Hookah. The peak, he saw the second player being Finesse. But then Som gets that lurk from behind for the final kill. And it's NRG with the comeback and wins the first map 13-11.
We saw a very similar game when NRG played 100 Thieves and the attack that they were able to bring in that game as well. Here we see a rinse and repeat as NRG find their footing on that attack side and really working the map left and right. Those early rounds, you could see how much finesse was put into those rounds and just how much they were able to get Furia off their game. Really nicely played. The amount of, I think it went to almost seven post plants for NRG before Furia was able to stop it at that 8th round in the second half. That's too late. That's just too late to take the punishing.
Definitely. And as we mentioned before, it was as punishing for the first half for NRG when it got ecoed by Furia, and you had to play the comeback game. This time around, Furia, they get punished for the gun round versus the bonus, actually, that NRG brought out. And that has been the catch-up game for the attack side. The attack half for both of these teams, but at least when the money was right for Furia, it was too little too late.
Some of these players coming out huge. Digizine having an immense game for the squad. Really able to take down any head-to-heads you would have put within this match, Van Silly. I know the desk will kind of bring that up and talk about Artis, Victor, and what was going on with the duelists here since it was, and Sentinel, since it was such a big factor. But yeah, this one delivered everything. We had awesome ults, we had awesome retakes, and the 4v5s that Furia were able to capitalize on with that, one of the highest rankings in the league of that. You cannot count them out.
And with that, the second map coming up here is going to be Haven, and you think it's going to be NRG's playground, but remember how this team has played for Furia last week. It's been amazing for both of those players being in W0 and also being here at Digizine, and we'll find that out when we come back from the break.
What is this from EA? He is currently unstoppable.
True.
He is just a consistent demon. El Diablo.
Hey guys, it's EA. Welcome to my course on optimal Valorant training. I'm going to be demonstrating now some angle clearing. I'll slowly come around the corner as well, making sure no one's on these off angles.
Cause I'm having a good time, having a good time. I'm a racing car, passing by like Lady Godiva. I'm gonna go, there's no stopping me. Don't stop me now, I'm having such a good time. I'm having a
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.